Hello everybody and welcome to this edition of Miss J's Geek Corner. Place we talk about anything and everything that is geek, will be TV, comics, movies, or video games. And I just very quickly want to mention that we now are 2 episodes away from the 100th episode of Mr. J's Geek Corner. And I just keep saying, there's probably some folks out there that knows what it is, but you can probably figure out what it is. Probably already know what it is by now, just by just putting the clues together. But I'm still not going to say what it is yet, but it's going to be big. It's going to be a great show. Elle and I have been working very hard on it, getting it done. Particularly Elle, because she's been in here many hours editing and piecing stuff together. So she's been really working hard. So it's just to make sure that everything is going to piece together really good. So she's been really hard at work to make everything great, particularly. So, many hours have been put in on this. So definitely tune in for episode 100. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. So, and I hope y'all enjoy it. So whenever it gets put in, so 2 episodes away. I can't wait for you to see it. So definitely. We both can't wait for you to see it. So definitely stay tuned. It's definitely tune in for that. But straight to our subject today. About a couple weeks ago, Elle and I were sitting around. We were watching the Gamera movies from the 90s, and she really liked them. Thought they were pretty good. Thought they were right good, and we were sitting around just discussing. I said I needed some ideas for episode 98 and 99, and we were happy watching Gamera at the time. We were just discussing discussing that, and discussing the news headlines for a bunch of different movies lately that have been like the news that the new Godzilla, the new King Kong reboot coming up, the Skull Island movie, they're going to try to link that into Legendary's Godzilla series, and they're eventually going to do a King Kong vs. Godzilla remake. That sounded incredible when I first heard it, and also the fact that they are rebooting, that Toho is doing a reboot of Godzilla called Shin Gojira. And I heard, from what I heard, it's going to be incredible when they do it, and it's going to be a reboot. And it got us to thinking, talking about all this stuff, she pitched me the idea. Why don't you discuss monster movie kaiju that need reboots? And I thought it was a great idea. So, and matter of fact, she actually said, "Why don't you do the top 5?" So today, courtesy of Ellen, my beloved wife, and I'm going to present you today with the top 5 movie kaiju from the past that are in need of a modern day rebooting. And so it took me a bit to put this list together, but there's a lot on here that definitely kaiju fans like myself will definitely, and fans of monster, like 50s monster movies, will definitely recognize big time. And I'm gonna start off with number 5, Them. And y'all remember the movie? Everybody out there remembers the movie Them. Is about giant about a colony of fire ants that was affected by the Trinity atomic bomb test from the 1950s. The test of the first atomic bomb, Trinity, back in the 50s, right around the time of World War II, just before the end of World War II. And the radiation from that bomb caused them to grow into ants about as big as a Mack truck. And they were becoming a definite world danger because they were attacking people. People were just disappearing, everything left in shambles. People were found dead from like they'd been burned with acid. And what it was these ants attacking people and storing away food. They were eating people. They were eating the people. But essentially they were hunting down human beings for food, since they were essentially the top of the food chain just about. And by the end of the, of course, they became a danger because because they were trying to colonize the planet. And I could potentially see that being remade for the modern day with CG technology, and if they wanted to, some practical effects too. I could see that becoming a big time part of I might say, if they want to do like a link inter-universe thing like I've been trying to do all these years. I love to think that these are all part of the same universe as Godzilla. A lot of the giant monster movies is in the same universe as Godzilla because of all the nuclear weapons testing. And I'm going to say, if Legendary, I mean, it's a Warner Brothers movie, and I'm thinking, why don't they try? Maybe Warner should try to revive them and make it part of the Legendary universe, the Legendary Godzilla universe. And I'm gonna say, like they're part of that species of creatures that was part of the bomb test, or hey, could be a result of the bomb test that created that bomb test that was trying to use to try to destroy Godzilla at the beginning of the Godzilla movie. In Legendary version. I mean, there are so many ways they could reboot this and make it into an incredible movie and make the ants credible threats other than just by 50s technology making them look like a joke. But to me, it wasn't a joke. They did do a really good job back in the 50s, but imagine what they could do with the technology they got now. Imagine how they really could look. I mean, it would look incredible. And I think they really, I mean, it's a really good movie back in the day, but today, with today's technology and storytellers, they could really make something of it. I mean, really make it even better than it was before. And, I mean, they really should consider it. And number 4, it brings me to number 4, a Ray Harryhausen classic, It Came From Beneath the Sea. From what I understand, it is, and of course, as you know, it's a giant octopus. I mean, a huge octopus that essentially later on, and in the movie, wraps up the Golden Gate Bridge. And from what I've heard, from what I heard of the origins and everything, that this octopus came from the South Pacific, about the same area as the original Godzilla was when the bomb went off, when the 1954 test was conducted out there that essentially awakened Godzilla. This octopus was in the same location. They could essentially do some again if they wanted to link it in with that universe. They could say the same thing again. They don't even have to change the origins in that. This octopus was created as a result of trying to destroy Godzilla. They were trying to destroy him. And in doing so, they created these other oddities, the giant octopus, the giant ants, anything. I mean, they really could take and make something of this. Really take this and really link it in with that. And if they wanted to, have Godzilla make an appearance to try to stop it or something. Who knows? I mean, this could be. I mean, they really could make a great movie of this. I mean. They want to make a giant squid out of him if they don't want to use an octopus, but I think an octopus probably would be a better choice, to be perfectly honest. But because if you want giant squids being, that's a different book altogether. That's a different story altogether. But still, this would be great if they can link. Like I said, they can have him be one of the giant creatures that existed eons before man, all that stuff. And I'm not going to take it any further than that. Because that's definitely another line of mythos for another day also. But bottom line, it would be great to see It Came From Beneath the Sea remade with CG technology. I mean, Harryhausen stuff was revolutionary anyway. It was incredible. I've seen the movie. I saw it. I'm gonna say I'll just a little bit of trivia. I actually first saw that movie the day of my wedding to my beautiful wife, who helped me come up with this list. I actually saw it that morning when I got married, and I thought it was an incredible movie, and I personally think it should be redone into modern day tech. I mean, it would be great. It would be great to see a giant octopus in CG. I mean, it would just be so great. And the fact that they can make it even more realistic, I mean, it would, like I said, it would just be so awesome to see that kind of movie done in realistic CG. I mean, have Industrial Light and Magic jump right on that. I mean, what they could do with animals is incredible. It's incredible. And they should definitely think about doing that. And number 3 on my list of ones that should be rebooted is the classic that helped to inspire Godzilla himself, the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. In other words, or as he's referred to in the movie, the Redosaurus. I mean, this movie inspired. If it wasn't for this movie, there wouldn't have been a Godzilla. I mean, he was inspired by King Kong. The guy who created it was inspired by King Kong, but he was also inspired by the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. As the story goes, he was inspired by that movie to make Godzilla. And if you look at the movie itself, I mean, awakening from by an atomic bomb test awakens a creature that's been in slumber for millions of years. A giant dinosaur that's been asleep for millions of years and starts wreaking havoc on land. I mean, this would be great in a modern movie. I mean, and they wouldn't even have to change a thing. Once again, it could still be the exact same reasoning, but he don't have to be a giant mutant. He just don't have to be a giant mutant monster. If they wanted to tweak the design a little bit, maybe they should think about making him one that walks on his hind legs instead of like a four-legger, or he could just stay being like he did when Ray Harryhausen designed him. Excuse me. But essentially, like I said, this was an incredible movie. They could really take this and make something of it in CG. I mean, it's one of my favorite monster movies, right up there with Godzilla. I mean, it would be great to see this redone in modern technology. They could keep the story exactly the same way. I mean, I guess you could say not so much a reboot as a remake. I mean, same what I said earlier with It Came From Beneath the Sea. It could be a remake or it could be a reboot and to boot it into the universe of the legendary Godzilla. But this movie here, you might as well say instead of a reboot, they didn't do a remake. More like it. And I mean, they should really think about redoing this movie. It would be incredible to see the Redosaurus in CG and fully detailed CG the same way Godzilla was. That was incredible. This would be just as good. I mean, this would be totally awesome to see. I mean, I would love to see a Redosaurus in CG. I mean, it would be a thing. It would be a thing of awesomeness, I guess you could say. I mean, I would love to see this movie redone. I really would. And to get some good actors in it and everything, I would love to see this redone. Really would. I would love to see this come to life again in a modern day. And as for and number 2 is one that I've heard rumors that he's going to be in the next Godzilla movie anyway. So this may be more close to truth than ever before. But Rodan is in need of a reboot. He's been in need of a reboot ever since they redid him in the 1990s, where he was basically brought him up to par being a legitimate threat like Godzilla, other than just being somebody that can knock buildings down. The fact that they gave him breath like a breath, like kind of an atomic breath blast like Godzilla. They really should think about doing that. I mean, I love the redesign they did in Final Wars, but to me, he was just back to being. I mean, that was not exactly the right movie to showcase Rodan in. I mean, it was back being goofy. I mean, if they wanted to do a spin-off movie of Rodan like they did back in the 50s when the original Rodan came out, they should do it. I mean, it would be great to see a giant pterodactyl plucking unsuspecting people out of the water as meals and stuff like that, and to see two flying around and everything. That's probably what's going to happen with this movie, with Godzilla. I mean, I've heard rumors of Rodan, Mothra, and even King Ghidorah is going to be in Godzilla 2. But I really would love to see Rodan get his own movie again, and then ease into that. I mean, it would be great to see Rodan get a full-on Godzilla-type reboot. I mean, I've already seen the fan art for what they would love to see Rodan look like. in a Godzilla sequel, and it's incredible what he looks like. He looks even more like a giant mutant pteranodon than the Japanese ever had him being. I mean, with a lot of what I've seen out of Japan, he looks more like, I mean, I've seen him look more like a pteranodon maybe in the Heisei era than I did in any other era. But in other eras, he looks more like a giant bird, to be perfectly honest. He looks like a bird. But he's not really supposed to look like a bird. He's supposed to look like a pteranodon. That's what he's supposed to be. Hence the name they call him originally Radon in the Japanese. And he just got to be called Rodan over here. But he's supposed to look like a giant mutant pteranodon. And he doesn't in a lot of ways. In the Heisei era, they got it right. Any other era, not so much. But I imagine in this era, they really in the legendary universe, they really would probably make him look even more like a pteranodon, like he's supposed to. I mean, it would look incredible. I mean, you see the way they did the wings and everything with Muto. They could really make something of it of Rodan. They really could. I and many others would love to see Rodan get a reboot, remake, whatever. Particularly a reboot, because when done right, he would be a legitimate threat for Godzilla. He really would. Man, I would just love to see it. Just pure and simple love to see it. And the number one monster I would love to see get a reboot and even join the legendary universe is the Guardian of the Universe himself, Gamera. I mean, the Gamera movie back in the 50s was really good. Some of the other ones look really goofy to me, but the Heisei era Gamera movies were incredible. I mean, I loved them. I mean, I really wasn't a fan of Gamera until I saw these three movies. I mean, I've got a collection. I found a collection at Walmart of the probably everyone except for the 2006 version of Gamera. The 2006 reboot of Gamera. I'm going to say a lot of them were really goofy and everything, but when you got to those three Heisei movies where he faced Gauss and Legion and Iris, it was incredible. It was really, really good. Really good movies. I mean, this is the type of stuff you would want to see Gamera and Godzilla doing a crossover against each other. I mean, I would love to see that. I mean, that's, other than King Kong vs. Godzilla, that's one of the movies that everybody would love to see is Gamera against Godzilla. Or as I would probably say, Godzilla vs. Gamera, because I'm more of a Godzilla fan. But I would love to see Gamera get brought into the legendary reboot universe to face Godzilla. I would love to see a legendary type reboot done on Gamera. I would want to see that big time. I mean, as incredible as it looked in the Heisei era, Legendary would take it and run with it. It would look, as incredible as Godzilla looked, this would look right up there with it. Because I would love, I mean, it would just be, I mean, if they had the right director. You take a director like Gareth Edwards and a good cast, good special effects crowd. I mean, you essentially take that crew that did Godzilla and have them do Gamera. You would bring a whole new generation of fans into liking Gamera. You really, really would. I mean, this right here, I wouldn't doubt that this legendary Godzilla movie brought in more fans than ever before, even though it seems like Warner's didn't have much faith in it. They would, I mean, this movie, I mean, a Gamera movie, they would bring in just as many fans. They would introduce fans to who Gamera is. I mean, there's probably a lot of folks out there saying, who's Gamera? And if it wasn't for Godzilla, I wouldn't even know who Gamera was. I mean, of all the monsters I've seen in the Godzilla in the pantheon of kaiju that they have in Japan, Gamera would come very close to taking on Godzilla. He really would. I mean, he's essentially the star of his own. I mean, a lot of folks would say Mothra too, but I'm not going into that. I don't like Mothra, but in terms of just pure sheer power and brutality, Gamera and Godzilla stand at your best chance of being the best battle ever on screen amongst giant monsters. I mean, it really would. And seeing as that they have indefinitely postponed production on Pacific Rim 2, this is the perfect opening to bring Gamera into the fold. Or any other kaiju, for that matter. Anyone I've mentioned on this list, that would be the prime time to bring... I mean, that leaves it a wide opening for another kaiju movie. For a kaiju reboot of some kind. Gamera, Rodan, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, Came from Beneath the Sea, them. I would love to see any one of those movies get a reboot. Get a reboot, remake, whatever, placed into, get put out by Legendary. I would love to see any one of these right here get made by Legendary. These are just five prime examples. I mean, there are tons of other kaiju movies that could be made into something incredible, but these are just the five major ones that I think should get a major redo, reboot, whatever you want to say, and have it done right, because there's an audience for it, definitely, and I for one would love to see these movies get redone for a modern day audience. I really would love to see it. But what do y'all think? Would y'all love to see these? Is there love to see these get remade into modern day? Is there a personal favorite kaiju movie of your own that you would love to see and it make it on this list? Get his own rebooted movie universe, or get brought into the Legendary Godzilla universe. Let me know. Are y'all excited? Hey, are y'all excited about a Godzilla 2 or Shin Godzilla, the Shin Gojira that's coming out next year from Japan? Let me know. Are y'all excited about a remake of King Kong versus Godzilla? Let me know. As always, drop your comments in the comment box. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about this subject. I would love to hear your opinions, and love to hear whatever kaiju you pick should get its own reboot. And I guess that's all for this week's edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. And as always, if there are any comments whatsoever y'all have about the show, drop me a comment in the comment box. I would love to hear what y'all have to say. Like, subscribe, share with all your friends, tell all your friends, and definitely tell them about the 100th episode coming up in 2 weeks, or at least in 2 episodes, and within the next 2 episodes. Definitely tell them about that. It's going to be incredible. And if y'all have any ideas about something you want to hear me discuss on the show, drop your ideas in the comment box. I would love to hear what always looking for fresh new topics and subjects to talk about on this show. This, as I said before, this idea was given to me by my lovely and talented wife, Ellen. I mean, she comes up with incredible ideas for shows. And even, I will just give you a sneak peek, the next idea for the next episode 99, is another idea straight from her. It's a really good show, so definitely stay tuned next week for that. Especially being the episode leading into episode 100, so definitely stay tuned for it. It's a great show, but as I said, the idea for this show came straight from her also. So definitely drop your ideas in the comment box. I would love to hear from y'all, and love to hear your ideas as well. And I'll see y'all next time.